So the superlatives for the NFL happened before this game. It was pretty expected, I feel like, for almost everything. MVP went to Mahomes. Makes sense. Jay Jettas won Offensive Player of the Year. Makes sense. Nick Bosa or Micah could have won defensive. It wouldn't have been a shock.
So I had it wrapped up.
What?
Wrapped up easily.
Yeah. And then, you know what? I thought the two things, I know we are in agreement on this, but Geno being comeback player of the year, I think warrants discussion. I don't get it. He didn't come back from anything. He just sucked. He was most improved. If they should make that an award, but I feel like we're forgetting what comeback player of the year means. Like it's supposed to be of an injury. Like Christian McCaffrey probably was the winner. Saquon would have been one of the people who's a finalist.
If that's the case, McCaffrey would win the award every year.
True, but I'm just saying, like he's the one who really came back this year. He didn't miss a game. He played, I think, actually 19 games because he was traded and then played that next game, which is the most ever. But
you feel like he might have a couple, but maybe not.
I don't think he missed one game this year.
No,
he might have left hurt, but he definitely didn't miss a game. But Geno didn't do anything. Like he didn't come back. He came back from the bench. Like he was definitely the most improved. No one could have seen this coming. Literally no one. We were making jokes about Geno Smith starting for the Seattle Seahawks being a lock for the number 1 draft pick for this year.
Yeah, you let him to the playoffs. I mean, I think it's just like a situation that he was able to come back from, just backing up like Russell Wilson, bouncing around. Probably bound to different teams, right?
He was on the Giants, the Jets, and then I want to say the Chargers before the Seahawks.
The Broncos, maybe.
He was irrelevant everywhere he went.
Yeah. He made a name for himself in the league, really, and then the offseason, he was battling for this with Drew Lock, who
Drew Lock stinks.
He stunk in Denver. So just what he would do with that team, all things considered, like we thought they were going to be an atrocity this year, and he made DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett of years. Somebody else I think got snubbed of an award there in Kenneth Walker. He played well when Rashad Penny went down. So just like all things, I think the way he was just able to come situation that he was in, and he literally said quote of the year when he said,
"Oh yeah,"
and he didn't write back. He really didn't.
That was cool.
And just how he was able to play well the playoffs, almost opportunity to win that game. Obviously, the 49ers were the much better team, but in that first half they were winning. So I think you just have to a lot of credit where credit's due. Obviously, other guys like you said, McCaffrey and Saquon had great years, and they were
even like Brandon Graham coming back from the Achilles, Nick Gates coming back from almost losing his leg. Like Nick Gates had 7 surgeries and started games in the playoffs this year. Like pretty wild. But I just I think what needs to happen is there should be a most improved player award, and it needs to be separate.
Did you say that one Giants player who had that all leg injury?
That's what I'm saying. Nick Gates.
That's Nick Gates. Okay.
Yeah, he almost lost his leg. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
And then he played, and like he was, these guys are barely considered. Yeah. So also Geno, I just looked up. So he was with the Chargers for 1 year, and then he signed with the Seahawks on May 15th, 2019, and then he's been with them since then. So took him a few years, and then he got his chance, and he played amazing. Like call it what it is. Like he played awesome. And then this is another thing I think was kind of crazy. So we knew how good the Jets rookie class was by watching them. Like they were a phenomenal class. Would have been even better if Breece Hall was healthy. He probably had rookie of the year locked until he got hurt. But I thought was really wild I don't really get the offensive rookie of the year went to Garrett Wilson
Mm-hmm.
because he had more overall votes. But I thought it was crazy that Kenneth Walker had more first place votes than Garrett Wilson. So like, what do you make of that? Like, I that's kind of like interesting. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
The only thing I could think, I think he played less games than Garrett Wilson. That might be what it came to.
Maybe, yeah, for Kenny Walker, yeah. And then Dayball, I feel like had Coach of the Year locked up. I mean, what he did with practice squad players and Daniel Jones, who for 4 years was horrible, basically resurrected his career. like, did pretty well. And we'll see what happens this offseason, but I'm hopefully we sign Danny to long term, so that way the cap hits lower. And the real question will be like, do they bring back Saquon? Because he's really the heart and soul of our team, but like how do you pay a running back? I just like can't ever get over you can't pay running backs. Look what happened in the Super Bowl. Pacheco is a 7th round rookie from Rutgers.
Yeah.
And that dude looked insane. It's really hard to justify. Oh, and then I guess on the topic of running backs, Aaron Jones will be back one more year with the Packers.
I could, but giving your early predictions, I don't think Aaron Rodgers stays there.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's gone.
I think he's gone too.
I got a bad's going to the Jets.
You bet he's going to the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either the Jets. It kind of seems like it's either the Jets, the Raiders, or he retires. Like, it doesn't really seem like there's other suitors that I guess maybe the Saints, but I don't know if they really have the capital. I guess you don't really need the capital. Brett Favre was traded for a 4th. The contract is so big that it makes it really hard to trade like super high draft capital for it. Because it's like what, 50 million, 60 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think this offseason there will be a lot of storylines. We can like, what do you think of the Bears situation? I mean, I feel like they're in the probably literally the best situation possible. They arguably have a franchise quarterback and have the number 1 pick.
Yeah. It'd be stupid to build their team around Justin Fields and go for just some type of dominant edge rush and use their first pick on that. It'd be stupid to take Chase Young or CJ Stroud. And
you're saying you think you'd stay with Justin Fields and build around him?
Yeah. I think he's proved, especially as he played so well. Obviously, he has some. He has a lot to do with his arm, but I think he is more than capable of doing that. I'm sure they could get a haul for, but I just think it'd be stupid to after putting your sin on Justin Fields, and just to be like, because I don't even think it would be to get rid of him, other than getting a lot for him. So I just think they should just use that first overall pick.
If I'm them, I either leverage. Like, I think I agree with you. I think Justin Fields is the real deal. If anything, the Eagles, you could literally just look at how they used Jalen Hurts and
exactly.
As long as he can work on his throwing, which he was a good thrower in college. So like it's not out of the question. And he's obviously a really dominant runner. Form the offense around him and see what happens. Like, I think it would be great for them. And then if I'm them, I look at the Colts.
Well, the Colts have the first pick.
Colts have the 3rd pick. The Texans have the 2nd. If I'm the Bears, I look at the Colts, who probably want to jump the Texans to take a quarterback and get a haul for them.
I thought the Bears traded the first pick to the Colts. I'm pretty sure the Colts have the first overall pick.
Not yet.
Or that's
it's a mock. That was in a mock that they thought it was going to happen.
They should do. Okay.
They didn't do it yet. I think they should do that. It would make a ton of sense for both teams.
Because then the Colts, which would be pretty crazy, would take Bryce Young, their new head coach, and Shane Steichen, and just kind of build around Bryce Young and Jonathan Taylor. It could be pretty cool.
Could be good. I mean, it's really funny, like that Bryce Young is actually like he's very different from any other quarterback that has ever come into this draft. He's not like he may be short, like Kyler Murray is short, and I'm sure he'll get like comps to that, which is just lazy. But he can't run like Kyler. He's not stocky like Kyler. He's like very much 190 and thin.
Mm-hmm.
And yet dominated the SEC. So it'll be really crazy to see what happens in the NFL. Of like some people compared him to like Steph Curry, how Steph Curry actually makes no sense how he's that dominant because he's not that fast, he's not that strong, yet just outworked everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll get more into the rookie stuff soon. And then what do you think? We didn't talk about this either. Sean Payton getting traded to the Broncos.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I don't know what I mean, he just had such a great career in New Orleans, and then to go to a team, in my opinion, that's going to be just as bad as last year.
You think so? I wonder if he will be able to resurrect Russell Wilson's career.
By the person I was thinking of just going quickly was Bears taking Will Anderson out of Alabama.
Oh yeah, it would be him or Jalen Carter from Georgia, who's also the other D tackle. He's super. This year is like really lacking the elite wide receiver talents that we've seen in years past. Like, there's no like Garrett Wilson or Drake London, Chris Olave in this draft. I can't hear you. You're muted now.
I don't know what pick the Giants have, but for the Eagles, I really don't think Bijan Robinson is gonna fall to. But if he does it, I think the Eagles should for Skronsky out of Northwestern, their offensive tackle, because especially if Jason Kelce doesn't come back. I know they have a backup, but getting another.
Yeah, didn't they draft his backup last year?
Yeah,
out of Nebraska. I forget his name. Whatever his name is.
But we'll do that when we do our mocky. But
Dave's 25, by the way. The Giants.
I
would love to see the Giants be able. Obviously, they'll have to figure out the Daniel Jones situation because there's conflicting reports from Paul Schwartz and who's covered the Giants forever, and Mike Florio, who just reported that Daniel Jones is looking for $45 million a year. That's insane. If he's really actually doing that, like trying to get 45, they're just going to franchise tag him. Like, their franchise tag is at $32 million this year for quarterbacks. Like, he's not getting anywhere near that. But yeah, so I hope that contract is figured out. Saquon's figured out. And then what would be awesome is if the Giants could try to. I think that the Niners and the Bengals have two big decisions to make. T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, both are up for big contracts.
Mm-hmm.
T. Higgins is kind of harder to believe that they won't retain him, I think. I think they'll have to. I think they're going to keep that young core together. Brandon Ayuk, I think, is a different story. With Deebo Samuel getting paid what he's getting paid right now, it's pretty hard to imagine that Kyle Shanahan, who just made Brock Purdy work, will not be able to make a different receiver work in the same offense. Like Jawan Jennings has come on for them, who's just like a random. I can't imagine they're going to pay Ayuk big money. I just can't. I don't see it.
I don't either.
He hasn't done enough in that offense. Plus, they hated him not this past year, but 2 years ago. They put him in the doghouse.
So we mentioned Rodgers, and he went on that wild darkness retreat to contemplate his decision. Is he still on the retreat? How long is this retreat lasting for?
Dude, I don't know. So he went on the Pat McAfee show, and I thought at that point in time he'd come on the show to tell what his decision was, but I guess he came on the show to tell him that he was about to leave for the darkness retreat. So I guess he's on it right now. But while he's on it, there's a lot of reports coming out saying that the Packers are ready to move on and are comfortable with Jordan Love.
I'm just like picturing him just like in some like dead himself, just tripping on shrooms, like trying to figure out like in the Simpsons movie, drinks that juice from the big boob lady.
Yeah.
That's what she's gonna do. She's putting her knockers, and it's gonna point to the Jets, and he's gonna come.
Oh my god! I totally forgot about that part. They're swinging. Yeah, no, that's probably true. I mean, I think the idea of it is much funnier to think of than like what it probably is, which is like if you think about it, the dude is.
Thank you, mysterious boob lady.
He's like what, almost a billionaire, probably.
Yours?
His net worth, 100 millionaire.
Sheesh.
It's got to be right. Aaron Rodgers net worth $200 million. So you got to think this is a pretty nice cave.
Yeah.
Like it's not a normal just darkness retreat. He's probably living in style.
Yeah.
In the dark.
No.
It's weird. Like I think that the media has gotten bored that this is like such big news.
Thank you, boob lady.
Thank you, boob lady.
Well, from another great quarterback to the next one, Tom Brady finally hanging it up. What are your thoughts on that? Real or fake?
I think it's real.
It's got to be.
I think it's real. I don't think he would do it. Well,
has anyone ever done that?
Brett Favre.
But he only retired once, though, I thought.
I thought it was twice.
Was it? He retired after Minnesota.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
I think it was only one time.
It was once, and then he came out of retirement.
Spreading rumors.
That's what we're here for. Goss. No, I don't know, dude. I think he's probably done. What was more interesting is like the day in which it came was the same as last year, actually. So it was the same year he retired, or same day he retired last year. I don't know. I mean, everyone knew that last year he retired planning to become part owner of the Dolphins and Sean Payton would come out of retirement. Like that was all true, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not a Tom Brady fan, I'll admit that, but to respect what he's done, and he is the greatest football player of all time.
Absolutely.
He has nothing left to prove, so I think it's just for the love of the game at this point. Like he just loves playing football, and you could just see like even in that playoff game against Dallas, like they got destroyed. And
Tom Brady was so bad.
Yeah, Tom Brady did not look comfortable at all in that game. And he has the weapons around him. Like Evans and Godwin is forgot about them too. They're one of the best receiving corps in the league, which will be interesting. Bucks go quarterback wise.
Dude, they're so screwed. We talked about this last year when he like quote unquote retired. Like they have no backup plan. They have to hope Derek Carr goes there.
Either that or draft a quarterback.
Or Garoppolo. Like you can't put your faith in Kyle Trask. That guy sucks.
You can't. But yeah, Brady just didn't have anything to prove. And I don't know if he wanted to maybe get another Super Bowl, but I think that had to be part of his ration too. It was just that with that team, he wasn't going to win another Super Bowl.
Do you think it has anything to do with like Giselle? I genuinely do wonder if they'll try to get back together now.
I don't think so, especially because he apparently has this unreal. I don't know who it is, but he's dating some model right now.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Did you saw I had to put this in the notes, but you saw this whole thing about like the sand thing, right?
Yeah, and somebody like put it up for like $1 million. I was like, who the hell is gonna like bid for $1 million of sand? How do you even know that was like the exact?
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what it was. So this girl, it was I watched. She has a TikTok video of it. So basically, Should I just play it? Should I find it?
Might as well.
Okay, let me find it. It's really funny because basically what she did is the amount of money that she initially put it up for of was either the money that she gambled on Tom Brady that she wanted back, or something else. Hold on, let me find it. Oops, that is Tom Brady sand. Here it is. Oh no, I want to see the actual thing. So what's funny about this whole thing is like someone tried to, after this like went viral and was well over 100K that this sand was worth. A bunch of other people started putting it up on eBay also, of fake sand.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them. Damn it. Can't hold on. All right, you talk about Tom Brady. I'm gonna find this.
Yeah, no, I think this is it for him. I don't know what he. I mean, also considering the fact that he has $1 million contract waiting for him as a broadcaster, and who even knows how good of a broadcaster he's going to be. He knows so much about football, so I'm sure he's going to be just fine. But something that I thought was interesting to me, and it has to do with and I guess who works for them, but the people who called the Super Bowl, the main guy, I forget who he was. What his name is, the play-by-play guy. He did a very good job. I forget what his name is. The color commentator was Greg Olson, and Greg Olson is pretty good, but like I was just like very curious about that for the Super Bowl, like why they had Greg Olson do it, because the game was streamed on was it ABC? The game was on the Super Bowl, because it wasn't on.
I think it was ABC.
Because it wasn't NBC.
Definitely ABC.
No, it was Fox. It was Fox. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, you're right. It was Fox.
So it must have to do with the coworkers, because been a lot of like dispute about Tony Romo and about him not like preparing well for the games that he's doing, and just kind of winging it like we do. But he I was curious, like, it's better than Greg Olson, like why they didn't do Al Michaels or Collinsworth. It has to do with, because it was Fox, I guess, and who they worked for, the crew, and Greg Olson worked for them, I'm guessing. So,
well, do you think that he's? I mean, this was kind of messed up, but they basically asked Greg Olson, I think it was on air, how he feels about. Oh no, it was on the McAfee show. How he feels about being replaced by Tom Brady.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Yeah, like, he for Fox.
It's tough. What are you supposed to do?
Nothing.
Okay, I think I found it.
We don't got all day.
I know, this is all right. Whatever. I didn't find it. I'll just talk about it. So basically, this girl made a TikTok. I wish I could find it. And she posted on her TikTok that she went to Tom Brady's spot in Tampa, I believe it was, that he retired, the exact spot, took sand, put it in a jar, took the jar, put it up on eBay, and said, basically, I bet on you all season. You screwed me out of tons of money. So this is how I'm getting my money back. Then it went viral for whatever reason. The girl, I'm pretty sure it sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's insane. It's sand. And it just sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that girl is looking like the smartest person ever. to do that.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like there's a lot of kooky people out there that will be willing to make a lot of money off of something like that. Like like LeBron James, like if he blows his nose in a tissue and throw it out, somebody would go into the trash can and put that on eBay
I'd
and
do it.
sell it for $1 million. And it's like why the hell would you buy someone's gross ass snot in a tissue? But it's
would you not eat the snot hoping that you could become LeBron James?
If that was the case, I would. But
yes, yeah. Sometimes you gotta take risks.
I would eat it, throw it up, and eat it again.
That's right. More the merrier.
Yeah, but I don't know. What were we talking about Tom Brady? All right, enough of Tom Brady.
Okay, enough Tom Brady. All right, so speaking of like what potential Bucks options they have, Derek Carr finally gets released from the Raiders. What a weird situation that whole thing was. Like, he got to the Pro Bowl as a reserve. Didn't technically have a team, so he was basically making jokes the entire time of like, this is, which I think is the first time that a guy has gone to the Pro Bowl in the city that he is still part of that team, and technically everyone knows he's gonna get like let go.
Yeah,
pretty weird situation. I think Derek Carr, while overrated at times, is definitely a very serviceable quarterback. Like I think of him kind of on like Kirk Cousins area, roughly. Kirk Cousins actually was really, really good this year, though. So maybe a little less.
I agree with that. I just think Derek Carr is a letdown for a long time now, and this was long overdue, in my opinion. The Raiders went out and get Davante Adams. He had a great season. Darren Waller was a bust, but he'll be back, I'm pretty sure.
Hunter
Renfrow was a bust. Yeah, and if they bring back Josh Jacobs, that is a team that should be in the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs, right? They should be in the playoffs, and they're just a quarterback away from doing that. So the Raiders are in a big time situation where they're gonna really do whatever it takes to get Aaron to go there. Or
can you imagine Aaron Rodgers going to the Raiders, reuniting?
It just makes too much sense. Like he's from like the Cali area, reuniting with Davante Adams.
How high you think he would go in fantasy if he was reunited with Davante?
It's a good question. Like I don't think it's gonna boost his draft stock at all, especially in redrafts league. Like I still think he's gonna be like a 13th, 14th round pick.
No. Sorry, I meant Davante Adams. Like, do you think that he'll go from like number 10 to like 5? Like, do you take him over like a Jamar Chase now?
No, I would not. I don't know. I didn't even think he was going to be anything special this year, and he turned out to be really great.
He was unbelievable this year.
But so talented, so definitely worth a second round squeeze if he's there. But I'll waste the first round pick on Davante Adams. That's just me, though.
Travis Kelce being a first round pick this year?
100%.
I think he's going to slide to the second again.
I mean, if he falls to 10, like whoever has the 10th.
Okay, 10, sure, yeah.
Definitely gonna take him.
10, yeah, I get that. I just mean like if it's not 10 though, I mean it'll be right in the front of the second, but like I just think every year we're like, okay, I know that we're on a bit of an aside here from the Derek Carr conversation, but like every year, Travis Kelce, it just makes too much sense. He should be a first round pick. He is always that elite in a very hard position to get a good player.
He's really the only tight end, in my opinion, especially after this past year. Like I would not waste the second or third round pick on Mark Andrews or
TJ Hawkinson. Like, no.
Dan Bellinger.
No. Goddard. Ew.
Yeah.
No, I just mean like all the tight ends blow. Truthfully, Kyle Pitts was supposed to be like a god. Sucked.
Yeah.
What do the Falcons do is another question. I guess I have to go with Desmond Ridder because Mariota fell off the face of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, where do you think Derek Carr ends up? You said Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the Jets. You think? I see that. got to follow the Brett Favre arc. This should be the right time.
I know you're supposed to stick with your first choice, what you first believe, but I'm going to switch it up. I really believe Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Raiders, and Derek Carr will end up on the Jets, and they will not be any better of a team than they were this past year.
The Jets, you mean?
Because I think Derek Carr is not the real deal. I think he's better than any of those atrocity of quarterbacks they have, and Zach Wilson, Mike White,
Whatever
that other dude's name is. But I just don't think that they have enough for Derek Carr to make them a playoff contending team.
I don't know if they'd be a playoff team. I think the Jets are significantly better with Derek Carr, if that's the case. Aaron Rodgers, they're a playoff team. It's not even a question. If I'm the Jets, I do literally anything possible to get Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. He's back. I know the idea probably is Nathaniel Hackett's there. The Broncos tried it.
Yeah, I was like, who even knows if Elijah Moore is back?
Well, he'll be back. He's a rookie. Or, on his rookie deal. He's on his third year.
But after what happened last year, he might want out. Who knows?
He did during the year. We'll see. I mean, having Aaron Rodgers there kind of changes things, I feel like. But regardless, Garrett Wilson, stud, and Breece Hall, when healthy, absolute dog. But Derek Carr, I think, I think he's going to go to the Saints. Because the Saints are in a similar predicament, although they're really strapped for their cap right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they literally can't afford to not get a quarterback. So they have no draft capital because they traded it to the Eagles. I think they don't have a choice. So I think that's what will happen, personally. And then I think Rodgers will go to the Jets, following perfectly in Brett Favre and the NFL script's hands.
Yeah.
Those pesky script writers.
Where do
you think Garoppolo
They can't keep getting away with that.
Where do you think Garoppolo goes? And do you think he starts?
Good question. Let me just look at the teams real quick. Who would be back before I give you my answer?
It's probably likely that I think he'd go to the Buccaneers.
It makes sense.
Even as a bridge quarterback.
You know what I think would be a great fit for him, and this won't happen, but Dolphins. I think that would be a good fit for him. He stays healthy with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, because I just don't think Tua is the guy. There was talk about him maybe going back to New England because their odds is atrocious.
Oh yeah, Mac Jones.
But I think they're just building around Mac Jones. Yeah, there's just a lot of teams in need of a quarterback. The Raiders need a quarterback. I'm assuming Lamar is going to get a fat contract from the Ravens.
I mean, they're going to be so bad if they don't do that.
The Steelers are building around Kenny Pickett. The Browns think Deshaun Watson's going to make them better.
This is the first year. I just read it today that this is the first year he's going to get that fat contract.
Yeah. The Titans need a quarter, even though they're going to stick with Tannehill. The Colts will, probably draft a quarterback. The Texans should draft a quarterback. I think I read that too, something about Garoppolo going to the Texans. And
you think instead of them drafting one at 2?
Potentially.
That would be. I wonder if they're just perfectly happy. They have another top 14 pick, the Texans. I'm sure they're really happy with the ability to finally get another franchise QB after whatever the fuck Davis Mills is.
Yeah.
He is so atrocious.
The Commanders need a franchise quarterback. Even though for some stupid reason they believe Sam Howell's the guy.
I think that's such horseshit.
Yeah.
They're putting that out too much for that to be believable.
Yeah. I guess the 49ers are in a pretty solid situation, hoping that something good will come out of Brock Purdy and Trey Lance when he's healthy.
I wonder, they probably, I mean, that's another tough situation. You invested so much draft capital for Trey Lance, and if you trade him right now, you're getting nothing for him.
Yeah. It'll be. I guess the Seahawks will stick with Genos.
They'll stick with
Rams
Geno.
are in an interesting situation because they were horrible this, and see how they after winning the Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back, and if this is like I don't know what his contract is, but like Matt Stafford's days definitely have to be numbered.
I think so. They just didn't give him much help. Like they had Allen Robinson was so dog shit this year, and then they had no offensive line. The running game was terrible. Like they needed help desperately.